Good morning, everyone. What's going on YouTube? Today is a high carb day, off season, which is great. Plenty of food. So we're going to bring you through what we're going to be eating today. Everybody likes seeing the food and what we're munching down on to get big. And then we're going to go train a push session later on tonight. So that is the game plan for now. And we'll at least show you all the foods and bring you through a full day of eating. And sounds like fun to me. So I'm going to go hit cardio real quick and then get upstairs and start preparing for some food. Alright, cardio is all done, so it is breakfast time now. Let me move this thing. There we go. Breakfast time now. We're going to do, so basically I'll put my diet right up here for the high day. It's low amount of carbs post-show compared to what I'm used to. I'm usually rebound and then post-show. Usually we're like at least 1,000 carbs a day. But we're going to start with 700 range. I want to try to be not quite as aggressive out of the gate with the rebound strategy. I think we got our high days to 700 or 750 range, and then have a medium days to like just over 300 carbs. And low days, I keep pretty much carb free just for a couple rest days a week to give my digestion a break. So that's how you got a bone in here? Yep. So that's how I'm approaching this off season. Is going to be a little bit, just try to be a little slower, not quite as aggressive with getting my weight up right away. It'll go up. The food's going to do its trick for sure. That's my diet for the day. So we got to get 100 carbs in, got to get 40 grams of protein, and we do not use any added fats on the high day. So for breakfast, we're going to do chicken. I put a little bit of the new sauce barbecue on that. And then I've been liking doing half oats, half cream of rice. So that'll get me 60 carbs. Then I got Ezekiel bread, about to start cooking there. And then I'll put a little bit of honey on the Ezekiel bread. And that'll get me up to 100 carbs. So that's the plan. And then I'm exhausted. I've been up and working already. I'm probably gonna take a nap after this meal for a good hour, get back up, and then get meal number 2 and just continue working, start my day. I've already started my day, but get the rest of the day taken care of. So I will be with you guys in a minute once this is cooked. All right, breakfast is served. Let me show you what we got here. So we got the chicken with that new sauce, the barbecue, spicy barbecue. That's fantastic. NU sauce.com, good stuff. And I got cream of rice with oats and some fruit and cinnamon up top. And then I got my Ezekiel bread with the honey. So that is going to be breakfast. Got my supplements ready to go. And of course my grape flavored Mio, and I am watching right now the Unracked podcast with Andrew Berry and Kyle Wilkes. So those are usually a pretty good, fun, educational in the morning. But yeah, I'm gonna dig in, get this, not chat your ear off this time, and get this food in. Forgot to check my blood sugar. I got to do that, and then a quick nap, and then I got to get my supplements put together in my little weekly organizer, which is always a pain in the ass, but it always feels good having it done. So I'm going to get that taken care of very shortly here. So I'm going to put this down and then take a nap, and then I'll be with you guys for meal number 2. Show you what we got going on there. Throw some rice on. I think I got some already cooked that I'm going to use up first, but fresh rice is always the shit. So looking forward to that. All right, just got up from my nap. It is time for meal number 2 right now. Jackie just got home. She had a client cancel on her, so she is home and relaxing for the day. She's got one more client later on, but she gets a little bit of an easy, slow morning, which is good. So it's nice to see her. But nonetheless, speaking of her, here she comes right now.
Hello, y'all.
Ms. Jackie. Hello. So yeah, we're just gonna do same old-fashioned, boring food. Gonna do some chicken and rice and more Ezekiel bread. I love Ezekiel bread. I don't know if you guys have this in your area. It's a pretty common one, but cinnamon raisin is my shit. And I'm gonna throw in 1 zucchini. I'm gonna cook that up too. These are all big ones. I might just do a half of one. But yeah, chicken and rice, Ezekiel bread. Probably either a splash of honey or sugar-free syrup just to sweeten it up. Depends on how much carbs I feel like having. We'll get this cooked up, then time to go head down to the office, and I got a bunch of YouTube to work on. I got to work on our website at some point. All right, so I think I mentioned chicken and rice. It's actually going to be hamburger and rice. The reason being is actually this last 2 months of prep, I think I maybe had red meat. I might not have had it at all, maybe once or twice. Just kind of stuck with fish and chicken and some turkey and definitely some shrimp. Just trying to keep options as low as possible for fat content. And the shrimp seems to be very voluminous too, which is nice. Don't mind me just doing the dishes like a good boy. But when I checked my blood work, my iron was low. Apparently that's something that's common with retatrutide. And I did have a micro dose of that in. I really didn't use it much for appetite because I didn't want to have to use too much where my stomach got distended or had any issues, but just enough for kind of health. And that's one thing that we've been told and noticed is that your iron doesn't absorb quite as well, and sometimes your B vitamins. So my blood work was ideal after this last show, but that was one thing that was theorized and noticed and seems to be true, is the iron was low. My B vitamins were good, so I was happy about that. So now I'm back to implementing at least one red meat meal a day. I'm going to do 4 or 5 red meat meals a week, maybe a couple, one on each day on the weekend. When I want like carbs are low, I can do like a nice steak and veggies and some sort of fat source, and doing some like hamburg here. I really shouldn't do it on my high day, but is what it is. So let me show you what we got here. So there's our hamburg rice and a little bit of zucchini with the spicy barbecue new sauce, and then just more Ezekiel bread. I'm going to put a little bit of honey on that. I do love using honey as a carb source quite a bit. It digests well. It's actually an antioxidant, anti-inflammatory as well. So that's one added benefit to it for sure. I'm going to eat this, then I'm actually going to do my supplements. I got to get that done. Then we'll go down to the office and get to work. Here's Jackie and I's new office. I think we've shown you guys before. Pretty cool setup for myself. I actually just got a new TV I'll show you. So there's kind of our hangout spot right over here. This here's Jackie's desk over here. And we just got a new TV actually. Got a 55-inch TV. Some chick with a big ass is on the screen. Just watching the podcast right now. This is where I get a lot of my work done, a lot of my podcasting, whether I'm on my own podcast or Coach Paul or whoever else. Have been on quite a few different ones lately, getting interviewed and starting to get our name really out there in the bodybuilding world these days with our coaching, and Blue Collar's really taken off. So it's pretty cool doing a lot of different podcasts. And I was on Hormones for Me with Ryan Root's podcast a handful of times. They're great guys. Scott Mice show, Rise 41 with our boy Gonzo, who should be competing pretty soon here. I think he's actually coming up this weekend or next weekend. Gonzo has his first show with his boy. Excited to see how they do. It's always cool seeing people's first go around for sure. So he's a great dude. You're going to do great, Gonzo, if you're watching. I'm certainly excited for you. And then I do Paul's Live for every Sunday. Nice having a nice little setup. I'll take the camera you guys are watching from right now. I'll set it up right here. Got a nice camera, nice microphone. I got my setup ready to go. Nice little backdrop with all my medals in the back. I got some pictures that I like, as well as a nice piece of art. So it works out good. It's kind of nice being relaxing down here and having your own separate place that's not as... I used to work out of the spare bedroom, just had a desk up there, and it just didn't feel like productive because you're just in the spare bedroom. You know, your kitchen's right there, your bed's right over in the next room over. I could just go eat and fall asleep and take a nap and watch TV if I want. So down here, it's a little bit more accustomed to us. And I'll come down here like 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning and just get a couple hours of work in, do some things that I maybe want to research or follow up on some stuff that can be done after hours. And then I'll do my cardio, then I'll start my day. So I kind of get a nice jump, and it's relaxing coming down here. And I'm not bothering anyone by if I turn the TV on and play some music in the morning or listen to the news. Jackie can't hear it upstairs, so it's not a bother to her. So I'm enjoying it for sure. But today On my agenda for work, I already got some coaching aspects out of the way and some scheduling for different YouTube items this morning. But I think what I'm going to hop on here now before I get to meal 3, and then we got pre-workout and then gym. We got a lot of people coming off show or entering into prep or whatnot. I got some people that are going to be peaking this coming weekend, and then a week after that we got another show in Dallas, the Battle of Texas. We got some people competing there. Actually, just one girl there. And then next weekend we got a show in Rhode Island we're gonna actually go down to. But I'll quit mumbling. I'm gonna get to work and throw something on the TV and just chill a little bit, kind of cruise, do my thing here, and yeah, then we'll catch up for next meal. Okay, we're on to meal number 3. Yeah, so let me show you what we got here. Pretty simple. We got ourselves 99% turkey, so super lean turkey, 50 grams of rice underneath, and a little bit of that 0-calorie new sauce. And then for the rest of the carbs, we got some apple cinnamon rice cakes. So I get 35 carbs from the 3.5 cakes, and then 15 grams in nut butter, in honey. Then I dump a bunch of salt on it, actually. With the caramel rice cakes and salt, it's like a salted caramel rice cakes with honey. So pretty good stuff. That is definitely, I still like rice cakes being on prep. I love rice cakes being off season. I like rice cakes, and I do like honey. Nothing wrong with honey, nothing wrong with sugar sources. It's just you don't want the majority of your carbs coming from sugar sources, of course, but I will use things like honey or jam or some fruit juices periodically as well, just to make putting the volume of food down easier and not walk around like I'm feeling bloated all the time. So I am going to take my Suppressor Max from Troponin Nutrition. You can use code AB10, Paul's code, to save some money. My code is not active on there right at the moment, so use up Paul's. That is a great berberine product that'll keep your blood sugar in line very well. I'm a big fan of that. I'll be using that over metformin for quite some time. It's not that there's anything wrong with metformin, just that that's more of a prep scenario. I'll use actually metformin, and then no berberine, and I'll use berberine in the off season is what I do. But gonna check my blood glucose, get back down to the office. Jackie's down there with a client getting her lashes done, so I'm just trying to be quiet and not disrupt them. So I'm gonna bring this down, eat that up, finish up my work, and then we'll bring you pre-workout soon. Pre-workout time right now, so I'll show you what we're eating here. So I got to do 125 grams of carbs and 45-ish grams of protein. So did oats today. So I got 35 grams of carbs from oats, some strawberries, and I put a whey protein drip on top. And I still had another 35 grams of protein I could use, so I put that in some water with a couple ice cubes, and this will be my milk for some Rice Krispie cereal. So some just rice-based cereal, so I got the rest of the carbs in there, 90 carbs in that. I got myself my oats with some protein and some strawberries, and the rest of the protein here. So we got this meal combined is basically, again, 40 grams of protein, 125 grams of quick digesting carbs. And I did come up with my own concoction now of intra-workout that I've been really enjoying. So usually with my intra-workout, I gotta have 25 on my medium days or 50 grams of carbs during training on my high day. So where this is a high day, this will be 50 grams. But what I do is I've been doing carb powder. I've been using Raw's carb powder lately. So I'll do two scoops of that, gives me the carbs I need. A scoop of their EAAs as well. I'm adding an extra 3 grams of leucine for MPS, for muscle protein synthesis. Doesn't hurt to have a little extra. 5 grams of creatine, 5 grams of glycerol, and 3/8 teaspoons of light salt, which has my sodium and potassium combined. So that's my intra, and I've really been enjoying it. It tastes good, no problems. It really helps volumize the muscle, gives you a good, sustains your pump. And I'm getting plenty of essential amino acids and some extra leucine to really drive protein turnover, or synthesis, I should say. And then I'm gonna have a pre-workout because I'm dragging ass today. So we're gonna do Fuad's Hostility I'll double scoop that. This is like a pump formula and stims. And then I usually add like an extra gram or two of L-citrulline to get the max dose. So let's sit down, eat this. I'll put my intro together and then pre-workout, time to head out. So then we'll go to the gym, get some push session going. Play boobies and triceps and shoulders. That's some friggin' good stuff right there. I love drip on my oats. Very good stuff. Look at that handsome face. So today I might as well take a minute just to tell you about training. So did make some changes this off season to a little bit of my approach in the gym compared to what I'm used to. Usually I'm more of a volume, a straight up volume trainer. It's usually my tactic, but what I've been doing this year, I just wanted to try to make things a little bit less volume and a little more manageable in time. I want to be able to have my last exercise be as efficient, obviously, as my first. So one big thing I switched over was I put my heavy compound movements of each day, like today it'll be basically 2 pressing movements, and I do 2 working sets. And then towards the end of my training block, I work up to 3 working sets, but they're high intensity kind of sets, progressive overload style, in the sense of I'm going to work in like a 6 to 8 rep range, as heavy as possible for whatever my given strength is at that time, and go to pretty much failure safely, in the sense of not dropping weights on my head. But that's why you pick the correct machines or the correct setups, or you use safety measures or a spotter. So yeah, that's my approaches on some movements like legs, quads, back, maybe chest. We can do that. Shoulders, I don't really want to be under a shoulder press, doing 6 to 8 reps for as heavy as possible and tear up my shoulder. Or arms, you're not really going to do 6 reps of biceps and safely do it without tearing your bicep. It's something that you train more volume, maybe use intensifiers, drop sets, or rest pause, or incorporate that into a giant set or an FST7 technique, which I have been using on shoulders. I'll do FST7 sets on some lateral raises at the very end, just to completely gas myself out, get the biggest pump, fill the muscle with as much blood as possible. Nutrient-rich blood with lots of EAAs and proteins and glucose and essential fatty acids that I've been eating all day. So those are all present and ready to be stored, and the goal is to get the biggest pump, sit it in the target muscle, and walk out with the pump and recover. So that'll be my approach today. My chest will be a couple movements, will be higher intensity, higher weight. Then I'll move into more of the volume stuff a little bit after, to not to get too much fatigue over stimulus rating. And that's the game plan. Little alterations, nothing wild, but I'm definitely getting a soreness that I haven't had, like back. I did a couple sets. I'm like, I don't know if I'm building a pump. But before you know it, I did a couple high intensity sets, and man, was my back radiating. And it was like, ooh, that's a feeling that's a different soreness I haven't had in a while. So I'm excited, especially for legs. I got to grow those suckers. And I got pretty decent legs, but not as good as my upper body. So I'm going to finish this, and we'll get a couple shots at the gym, kind of show you what we're into, and go from there. All right, so this is going to be movement number 1. Game plan is to just warm up with this, so I can get, instead of doing like a pec deck or a cable fly, I can warm up my joints a little bit better altogether than with an actual press. So I'll go light, feel out the weight, then work up to a top set, do 2 top sets here. And then we got a plate-loaded incline press. We're going to go and do a couple top sets as well. This will be the warm-up set. And get started with this one. Again, I really think there's some value in doing a compound movement with multi-joints incorporated and get your joints lubed up, warmed up, not just your target muscle itself. So that's the game plan. Top set number 1.
I'll be laughing. I'll be laughing.
think that's going to be the only tricep movement we show you since I am running behind and I got meetings tonight at 8 o'clock, starting at 8 o'clock, and it's already 6:30, and I still got to get shoulders and finish chest, so I think we're going to skip showing you triceps and just some of the bigger movements. So sorry about that, but time is money, and Dave needs more money. So we are all done now. Gonna head home. I did miss out on a couple of rear delt movements, but no big deal. I'm gonna do those at the house in the basement, but I gotta make it to these meetings. It's what pays the bills. So just don't want to be late. Never am late. Don't want to start now. But anyways, we'll see you at the meeting. All right, our meeting is all set. Glad to have that done. Lights are upstairs. Just had to get a meeting with a client in. That's just starting with us. Had some kind of introductory questions and simple stuff. So sometimes you gotta make that a little extra time so they can get off on the right foot. And just the way it goes in this business. So it is 9 o'clock and I still haven't eaten my post workout. So I'm gonna get to that now. All right, so finally on to post workout. And I was gonna cook fish, but been cutting it close for time all day and I really don't want to be up. So I'll leave the fish for meal 2 tomorrow, which I love fish, so not like I'm trying to avoid it. I think I'm just going to do the old-fashioned chicken and rice, and we'll probably do a little bit of either surprise Ezekiel bread again, or we might do some rice cakes. I don't know, I'll surprise you, but I'm going to get this put together. I'm just going to air fry it so I don't have to pull out the pan, try to save some time. But for those of you that do take your time like myself, I say take your time, but like really an extra 10 minutes of preparing your food, 5 minutes a meal, not even 10 minutes, to do something like throwing it in the frying pan and crisp it up that way. It really makes a difference on adhering to your diet, first and foremost, and then enjoying the meals. If you're gonna eat the same shit and a ton of food all the time, you want to enjoy it. But that gives me the freedom to, on times I don't have all the time in the world to keep up with the cooking, right here. If I don't have time to do a frying pan and make it taste better, air fryer's fast and easy. Just dump all the ingredients in, warm it up if it's already cooked. Make life easy on yourself, but also don't be afraid to exchange some time so it's enjoyable. And enjoying your meals makes you more likely to follow your diet, stick to the diet. And we all know that in bodybuilding, time and consistency are the ingredients needed to be successful. So if you want to stick with your diet, you might actually have to exchange some time to make it taste a little better or cook it a little differently. Rather than baking it, maybe you slow cook it or grill it or air fry it or marinate it overnight in something that still fits your macros or meets the standards of your plan. So consider that. A little extra peppers and onions or some veggies you like to mix into your meals, better than plain, and usually a lot better than different sauces for the most part. So take advantage of the things you can for sure. But I'm going to get this prepped and ready to go and eat. And then, wait till the last meal and probably catch up on a podcast with Jacko. All right, so the final verdict was chicken and rice with Ezekiel bread and honey. So this is what we got here. Regular old chicken and rice, 4 slices of that, Ezekiel bread, and then the honey. And we'll put a little bit of this new sauce on the chicken. So that there is going to get us our 125 grams for post-workout for carbs. And it's going to taste pretty good. I do love Ezekiel bread. I fucking love it. And chicken and rice does get boring sometimes, but is what it is. Not much you can do about it. But let me get this food down. We'll bring you the last meal. And I think it's time to go find something to watch on TV with Mrs. Canny and see what she's up to. For last meal, my last masterpiece of the night is going to be more rice cakes with some honey on those. And then we're going to have the rest of my carbs from cream of rice and oats again. So I got 60 grams of carbs in those with that concoction. And yeah, I definitely dig my little mixture of oats and cream of rice. It's definitely good. I'm curious of cream of rice and then regular rice mixed together would actually be good, like a rice pudding. Might have to try that sometime. And then for protein, we're just going to do a drip across the cream of rice and oats. Some berries on top. Oh yeah, that's perfect. Just nuke it for another minute. Oh yeah. And I got to make my dip. But that is the last meal of the night. Appreciate you guys watching as always. Be sure to like and subscribe and comment down below. Let us know what you guys want to see from us next. So I know we got a couple shows coming up, so that ought to be good. Go to Rhode Island in another week to do a peak a client for a natural show, so that'll be fun as well. Yeah, so we'll bring you all that stuff, all that content. Hopefully gonna have a exciting November like we did October. But appreciate you guys watching again. Until the next one, be good.